Hello people, this is Power here to review the Ultraman Trigger DX G.U.T.S Hyper Key, Ultraman Tiga Hyper Key. Or is it literally the entire, I think it's literally just Ultraman Tiga Hyper Key. Yeah, I don't understand why these names are long, but anyways, this was actually the first thing released for Trigger, because interestingly, just like Rider, this was a pre-release for Trigger and such. So obviously it made sense to put Tiga first because it was his anniversary. So here we have Tiga on the right. Here we have the hyper key itself. Obviously its phrases. Use it with the G.U.T.S spark lens. And just all the stuff it's compatible with. And very simple packaging overall. I kind of would like if Ultraman kind of transitioned out of these type of packaging, but whatever. Alright, so here we have the hyper key right here. So I think I was supposed to bring it in frame. I don't know anymore at this point. So I should probably bring this out right away. But obviously Tiga uses the same base, or technically Trigger uses the same base as Tiga, because they're the same. That's the whole point. The only difference being obviously the image. I just like how more, I guess, colorful Trigger is compared to Tiga. I think that was supposed to be the whole point. Yeah, again, everything's primarily the same. The only different thing is the track, which is B021. I'll be back. Alright. So, sound-wise, obviously I should probably also state that obviously Tiga's U10. So we're already in the 10th one by the beginning of this series. However, obviously we get his transformation. However, the next three sounds are actually essentially what we're going to expect out of the keys that aren't Trigger. So that's pretty neat. So we get a grunt, then the beam attack, and the color timer, which again is pretty neat. So let's use this within the G.U.T.S spark lens. Again, let's start with the hyper gun mode. I'll say that's the same. And the transformation. So as you can hear, it's actually a different standby compared to Trigger. So again, we get Tiga's transformation. The light combination I think is kind of weird because it parallels between white and red and then lands on purple. Like, I understand because white and red is technically supposed to symbolize Ultraman's original colors, but I don't know, I still find it really weird. And then we get, I believe, 4 sounds. So, the 4 sounds are 2 attacks, which are technically the grunts, the beam attack, and then a flying sound, which is pretty cool. Again, doing it in spark lens mode. I'll say that. It's the same. I feel like I wasn't too clear. I don't know. I feel like I'm not going to be clear enough on like saying that it's a completely different standby compared to trigger. But yeah, overall, it's a hyper key, so you know it does what it needs to do. It's just this one clearly has like at least like two more sounds than trigger himself. But I just this is a really neat item, or not item specifically, but it's just a really neat. I guess it's a really neat pre-release to introduce the toy line with, and it's actually kind of neat that they did that with Trigger. I wonder if Decker's gonna do that, but then again, we know that he's gonna use cards, so I don't know how they're gonna do that. Well, like there's a way they could do it, but like I understand why they did this because obviously these make the sounds. To which, as a pre-release, it's neat because you already have all the sounds and such. But yeah, I just really like what they are essentially doing with like the Ultra's pre-trigger, to which they accommodate all the necessary sounds they have. Again, we'll get to that later. And, it's a nice selection of sounds. Like, all the Tiga sounds are pretty neat that they used. And I really like how they incorporate sounds from that series into the standby. Because obviously these sounds that this key was playing was this, like, the rise and such. So they just took a part of that and made that work with the standby within the Gut Spark lens. So I really like that and such. And I didn't get through this, but these are for the most part pretty cheap. These are like between like $6 to $10 a piece, so it's pretty affordable. So it's not a bad pickup. That'll have to do with this review. So this is Power, and I'll leave you people. Bye.